Hi everyone, and welcome back to Virche Evermore Error Salvation. So see, seems that Eve had the same thought. Oh yeah, we're outside, right? Yeah. Hey.
こっちは大丈夫。みんなは引き続き夜間の巡回に力を入れて。ただ、万が一不審者と遭遇しても、無理に捕まえようとはせず、俺かアドルフに連絡を入れてくれる？
Adolf. Okay.
俺たちからも
So I'm
何か
really
進
trying to
展があ
get
れば、
Adolf's
す
name
ぐに
right.
連絡するよ。
His name's the hardest one for me. See ya. He powered off a small device in his hand before placing it in his pocket, like a cell phone.
やあ、セレス。君も外の風に当たりに来たの？
Yeah. He called out my name and walked toward me. Yes, I'm just taking a break. I'm sorry I overheard your conversation. Were you on your transmitter with members of the corps?
外に出るならついでに伝言頼むってアドルフに頼まれてね。外の方が通信もつながりやすいし。
Yeah, I mean, it's like your cell phone in a concrete building. It sucks. This is my first time seeing one. Hey, it's all bejeweled. It's pretty. Transmitter was a device used to communicate with someone far away, like a cell phone, a headset. I heard that they flash different colors depending on whose device was on the receiving end. Interesting.
クーネでは基本的に自警団にしか支給されてないからね。俺も最初は使い方がわからなくて頭を抱えたよ。
I see. I recalled Adolf saying he received one from the Institute somewhat against his will. He's like, I don't want that crap. Sorry, I'm still a little sick, so I might go into coughing fits. I'll mute myself if I do that. Could be that he wasn't too happy to get one back then because, like Eve, he didn't know how to use it. A cool breeze blew between us. When it passed, Eve began to speak again.
改めて昼間のお礼を言わせて。あの時の女性に偽りなく称賛の言葉をかけてくれてありがとう。
She's a lot nicer than I am.
きっと俺たち男がこの衛兵を追い払って慰めるだけじゃ彼女は傷ついたままだったと思う。
Oh. I was just saying what I felt since you asked me. It looked like she was very conscious about her appearance. I could tell how much effort she put into the makeup she wore and the way she styled her hair. I can't help but respect her for living her life with a different job like that.
そっか。そういうところか。
She's living her life.
優しいなって。君は自分に関して少し後ろ向きな分、他人の魅力を見つけ、妬みなく焦がれることができる。素敵な感性の持ち主なんだね。
Oh, that's nice.
アドルフが妹分として大事に思ってるのも少しわかる気がするよ。
Good thing she doesn't seem to have feelings for him, because that would be a terrible thing to hear. Eve smiled cheerfully and... Aww.
そんな優しい君と俺はもっと仲良くなりたい。
Aww.
これを機会にどうか俺と友達になってくれないかな。
I'm fine with that. That's fine with me. My hand was still at the warmth of his touch. Sorry, he's just weirded out. Most people have feared getting too close to me. He's also the one who was picking those flowers that everyone's afraid to touch. Yeah, without any fear at all, he naturally took my hand. It reminded me of the night I saw him touch the lycris flower so gently. See, that's what I was just saying. Friends? Eve? Are you really sure?
君のことを知りたいって意味なら今まさに気になってるけど。
Oh. That's not it. I mean the Reaper's curse. You've heard the rumors about me, right? Even if he hadn't, he experienced my curse firsthand. Yeah, twice. There's no reason for him to be this kind. I wouldn't blame him if he held a grudge. On top of all that, my curse was what almost killed you last night. It was pure luck that Adolf was able to bring you back to life. It was Lucas. It was Lucas, though.
そう言われてもな、現実味がないよ。あの爆発を君が起こしたなんて証拠は、
There's that
やっ
brat,
ぱりどこにも
Miles.
ないわけだし。
I think his name's Miles.
仮にそうだとして、俺は特に気にしないかな。
Just make life
だ
exciting.
から何というか。
Huh? Huh? He's continued in a calm voice as I stood there in shock.
君が人間だろうが、死神だろうが。こうして俺の前で、懸命に生きている一つの命には変わりない。なら、君は他の人間と等しく、俺
Aww.
が愛すべき存在だ。
Our boy's dropping hints already. Eves continued.
他の誰が君を嫌おうと、俺は君のことを迷わず愛するよ。
Oh, you're so cute. Why are all the guys in this cute? They did a good job. Did he say love? The words that should have been spoken to someone special in his life were spoken to me in such a casual way. I love the way that's so casual. Sorry, I had to cough. Rather than guilt, what I felt most of all was confusion. Yeah, he kind of threw that out there. But from the tone of his voice, it probably doesn't have a deeper meaning. Still, I felt he should watch what he said, especially since he was so handsome. His words may cause a misunderstanding depending on who he said that to. After a moment, Eves looked down somewhat apologetically.
君が俺に対して、この仮面の件で負い目を感じてるのはうすうす分かってた。
Yeah. I mean...
けど、だからって、急に切り出していい話じゃなかったよね。辛いことを思い出させて、ごめん。
You're so cute. No, not at all.
だからもう、俺はこの件について触れないでおく。君も気にしなくて大丈夫だよ。
But I can't do that. I need to apologize to you for what happened back then, Eves. There's no way that I couldn't.
過去を振り返って、君に得られるものがあるならそれでいい。でも、ただ傷つくだけじゃ意味がない。だから答え合わせは先延ばしにして、互いに勇気を持てたいつかにしよう。その分、今の君がどんな女の子なのか、それを俺に教えてほしい。俺も、今の自分がどういう人間なのか、言動で伝えられるよう、頑張るからさ。
Well, he seems like a sweetie. For that to happen...
セレス。俺の大事な友達に。
Aww, we made a friend! Eve's smile was pure and sincere without any sense of ill will. I mean... I don't know. Do I really have the right to be your friend, Eve?
そんなの誰が決めるの？
I'm afraid to get on his route.
なければ提案してないよ。
I know we're on the common route right now, but I'm really nervous to like accidentally get on his route. I'll probably have a selection later. That's kind of the thing nowadays. You can't accidentally like get on someone else's route. You have to choose it. But I'm still nervous. Eve's friendly voice was melting away the fear and guilt in my heart. Before I knew it, I naturally reached out to give him a handshake.
手を取ってくれて嬉しいよ。これからどうぞ。よろしくね。
Right, you too, Eves.
友達同士なんだから、さん付けなんていらないよ。普通にイブって呼んでほしい。
Okay. I think he wants. I think he said that he wants us to call him by his first name. Okay then. I will. Because she was probably in Japanese. She was calling him by his last name. It seemed to ignite a spark in him. The brightness that grew inside Eve came forth and lit up his smile. Aw, he's so cute. In the end, I couldn't confirm, let alone apologize for what happened 7 years ago. I was grateful that he said we didn't have to talk about what happened, but my feelings of relief made me feel ashamed. If only my heart was strong enough to face that nightmare. One day I'll apologize for what happened and thank him for what he's done for me. Still, I wonder what he meant when he used the word love. He's the same mysterious person as the one I saw in the field of lycorises. I head back inside while Eve stayed to enjoy the breeze a while longer. Oh. Why are you so cute? Just as he was hurrying from his study, the stack of papers and books that Matthias brought downstairs fell from his arms and scattered all over the floor, all across the floor. He's so cute. No, I'm sorry I startled you. If I startled you, here, let me help you pick these up. I crouched down to the floor, making an attempt to stack them in some semblance of order. As I did, I caught some interesting tidbits from what he had prepared. So these are the materials he wanted to share with us about ErroR. These notes are about how many bodies were found and where, including what they were doing at the time of death. Or even details about the victims' families here. I was surprised by his thoroughness. I haven't noticed any autopsy reports yet. I wonder if it's because the bodies were recovered by the Royal Guard. Yeah, they probably didn't allow. Yes, sweetheart? Am I calling him Matthias? Yeah, Matthias. It's probably Matthias. I'll try to call him Matthias, but I'm gonna probably slip back into Matthias. Matthias glanced at me as he continued picking up the papers from the floor. Matthias. You guys should have a contest with, like, anxiety. Oh my gosh, sweetie. Mathis, you're fine. Oh no, actually, the opposite. I was just amazed at how you were able to gather so much information by yourself. The content is very organized. It's easy to read, even for a novice like me. Mathis, you're cute! He finally smiled. It's such a beautiful, cute smile, but I can tell he's still scared of talking to other people. Might be his natural temperament, but I wonder if something happened in his past. His brother was murdered! And he says parents were mean to him. As I thought quietly to myself... Surprisingly, Mathis was actually trying to continue the conversation. I think we're 18? I think we're 18. Sorry, he's just talking so slow. I'm skipping. Because I read it. Sorry. Oh, I'm 18 years old. Human. The same age as Eve. Oh, you're so cute. Really? Mathis nodded a few times with some degree of anguish. I doubt that. I mean...
知らなかった。
I'm not. I'm not part of the corpse. I'm not actually part.
僕と1個しか変わらないのに
Should we
立
tell
派な
him?
お仕事をされてるんですね。
Oh, dang it! Stop! I'm getting to. No, sorry. Oh, I was stunned by the realization. This was how someone would see me if they didn't know that I was death. My heart ached a bit at the thought that I had deceived him. I decided to tell him the truth. I mean, I'm sorry, Monsieur Claude. I'm actually not with the corpse at all. He's gonna be like, what? But who are you? Why are you here? I gathered my courage and expressed that I was a person known as Death. You didn't have to tell him that! Upon hearing my confession, Mathis's face suddenly turned pale. Oh my gosh, you didn't have to tell him you were Death. That was not necessary information. Once again, the materials in his arms fell to the floor as he scrambled against the wall. I shouldn't be surprised by his reaction. You didn't have to tell him. Didn't have to tell him, girl. I knew this would happen, but it was still disheartening to see it after our conversation just a moment ago. Oh, you've upset our cutie! Girl.
ごめんなさい。つい過剰に反応
Or
して しまって。
wasn't he talking about her with John earlier? Like, a couple episodes ago? At the beginning? Mathis stared at me as he gathered the papers from the floor again.
あなたの正体が怖かったのは事実ですけど、身も蓋もない言い方をすれば、僕ブローの行方を終えれば
We're just
それでいいので。
sharing unnecessary information. His fright was expected, but it was his acceptance of my identity that startled me. As if to hide his fear, Mathis gave a nervous laugh.
僕は自分の人生を惜しいとは思っていません。
Are those lights? What are the things on the wall?
けれど
Everything about his house
唯一
confuses
の
me.
心残りが兄さんを殺したブローへの復讐なので。
Maybe we can be of use to kill Barreau?
だから死を招くなら
I'm not planning on killing you, sweetie.
それを遂げてからにしてもらえると。
Okay. What? He's not much older than I am, but he's so determined to see this through. He was carrying the burden of revenge on his shoulders against someone he didn't know. And he gave his life no other meaning. Aww. I feel like I'm not planning on killing you, dude. That's not...
その分今の君がどんな女の子なのか
Eve.
それを俺に教えてほしい。
We're kind, but we don't exactly make the best decisions. I remember what Eve said to me. That's right. I was always looking down on myself. I've never let anyone besides Adolf get close to me or learn more about me. I introduced myself to Mathis's death, but I didn't say what that meant exactly. You didn't need to introduce yourself as death. My lazy approach toward my own existence led to him saying such a sad thing. As I internally reprimanded myself, I steadied my breathing before speaking again. Monsieur Claude, I don't have any special ability to kill people like what you might be imagining.
Huh?
Well, what I'm trying to say is, I have no intention of causing people's deaths, so please don't worry. I could hear how strange my explanation sounded as I was saying it. But this was the best I could manage for now. If I still scare you in some way, please let me know and I'll leave right away. Maybe it's for the best if I head back to the orphanage. I forced out the best smile I could and quickly turned to leave when... Oh, baby!
待って
Mm-mm. Ow! I felt a sharp pain on my arm where he grabbed it suddenly.
もう日が暮れるので
What was
女性が
that?
一人で歩いちゃダメです
Is
絶
he...
対に外には出ないでください
How hard is he gripping us? Holy... Oh my gosh! Let go! Mathis like, ow! I felt the pressure run down my arm as Mathis shouted. Understood, I'll stay here until the others are ready. So if you could please let go of my arm a little... Jeez, how strong is this kid?
ごめんなさいつい慌ててしまって
Jiminy, what are you, the Hulk? What the crap?
女性に許可なく触れるなんて失礼でしたよね
You two are two peas in a pod, man. Like, you're both so down on yourselves. It's fine. I guess I was surprised too. You were just hurting my arm. I gently rubbed my arm once he let go. Despite his frail appearance, Mathis seemed to possess a great deal of physical strength. He's freaking a vampire. He probably doesn't realize it. Now that I'm looking more closely, there's a knife strapped to his thigh. Maybe he's training to avenge his brother? He might have that lean muscle that you don't know is there. Like you can't tell. As I thought about it, Matthias looked like he was regretting what he said earlier.
あなたを
Aw, you're
今
so
この
sweet.
瞬間無理やり屋敷から追い出したりはしないです絶対に
Well, thank you for that.
どんな相手だろうとわざと一人ぼっちにするような意地悪だけはしちゃダメだと小さい頃
Oh.
兄さんにそう教わりましたから
Okay, sorry, I'm just waiting for him to continue. He looked down apologetically.
あなたは何もしていないのに変な態度をとってしまってごめんなさい
Yeah, it's okay.
もう二度としないので
I just want to cuddle
Don't
him.
ブローを追うの
He's so cute.
一緒に手伝ってほしいです
You're adorable. Give him a hug. This kid, I just constantly want to hug this kid. Mathis looked at me anxiously. I could tell from his eyes that his request was sincere. Yes, as long as you're okay with me. Ah, our girl's cute. I breathed a sigh. What's going on? I can't believe I'm getting to know so many kind and caring people all at once. The happiness I was experiencing was more than death could ask for. I don't know. I want to know why we're death, or are we death, or what's going on? After everyone reviewed the records that Mathis had painstakingly put together, we came to the conclusion that Barreau had a pattern of targeting the rich. Well, not so much anymore. So, if so, then the wealthy merchants selling their wares at the marché in Quene were most at risk. I'm so trying not to think in Japanese. I'm trying to think in like French pronunciation. Adolphe used his transmitter to alert the other members of the corps waiting at the base. Before long, the sun had completely set.
あの
I think we should stay at the giant mansion.
僕の屋敷に泊まっていってください
Okay. We decided to accept his generous offer and remain here for the night. I mean, I would say yes. Need to get your plan together, right? As etiquette demanded, Ceres was given a room to herself, so it did not take long for her to fall asleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. As only 2 people inhabited the mansion, the other rooms were not very well kept. As such, the members of the corps who shared a guest room struck up a conversation. Why would they need to share a room? I mean, I guess if it's...
外泊するのは久しぶり。なんだか無性にワクワクするよね。 ここは童心に帰って
A pillow fight.
枕投げならぬクッション投げでもする？
Please. Eve, you're
や
cute.
めろ。ここの調度品1個でも壊したらとんでもねえ負債を抱えることになんぞ。
That's why you're gonna say no, not because you're
つか
not
お前
kids.
肋骨折れてるんじゃねえのかよ。よくはしゃぐ気になれんな。
I don't know. Eve is a crazy one. I like him.
折れていると言っても少し違和感がある程度で痛くはないし、まだまだ何本も予備があるからね。
I still got more. I can do this.
肋骨は消費を前提とした骨じゃねえんだよ、このニブチンバカ。
More.
ガキの集まりじゃねえんだぞ。とっとと寝ろお前ら。
Adolf grumbled nearby. He then turned over with his back to Eve and Hugo, his expression hidden under his blanket.
イブ、セレスのことをどう思ってる？もう気づいてんだろ。
What? Why are we the... The question echoed in the silence. Even as they settled down for the night, Eve still wore the mask on his face. Hugo, who was kicking Eve's legs to annoy him, suddenly stopped moving for a moment. They are still kids, oh my gosh. As for Eve, it seemed he had no intention of asking why the question was directed at him.
君から聞いていた通り優しい子だと思うよ。
Like you.
俺と違って
You're very
すごく
cute.
綺
What do
麗
you
な
talk
子だし
about?
ね。
You're very cute too.
きっと死神の誤解が解ければ誰からも愛される素敵な笑顔を浮かべられるはずだ。
But how do you plan on doing that?
できれば友達としてその手助けができるといいな。
Aww. Eve gave a cheerful response despite the cautious silence between the other two.
そうか。こういう時は
I
お
feel
前
like
の意味不明な思考回路というか、呆れるほどの博愛主義に救われる。
in response to Adolf's statement,
やっぱそれが原因なのな。
Hugo mumbled quietly before removing his blanket, sitting up.
ヒューゴどこに行くの？
I'm confused too. What's going on
目
here?
が覚めた。少し外の空気吸ってくるからほっといて寝てろ。
There are so many empty holes that I don't understand what's going on. Hugo walked out into the night air, feeling something indescribable. Eve was asked about his past with Ceres in that roundabout way. His quick response echoed in Hugo's head. Eves held no grudge against her. Knowing him, he probably didn't concern himself with what happened.
だからこそ腹が立つっつうか。
Does Hugo not like us? No matter how much he thought about it.
バカバカしい。俺はあいつの母親にでもなったつもりかよ。
I mean, if he wants to get close to
あ
us.
いつが納得してんなら俺が口出しすんのは筋
It
違
wasn't
い
our
だ。
fault. Hugo spoke aloud to himself, then turned around to head back inside when...
あ、
Hi, Mathis.
うん？
He encountered Mathis, who seemed to be outside for the same reason. He was not dressed for bed because he wasn't planning on sleeping anytime soon. It's 3 a.m.
こんな夜更けに何してんだ？子供はとっくに寝てる時間だぞ。
It's only a year younger than you, dude.
子供じゃないです。イブさんと一つしか違わないじゃないですか。
Plus, he's the one whose house you're staying at. Be a little polite, sir.
おお、言うじゃねえか。けどそりゃ自分で金稼いでからいいな。
You're living in his mansion right now. You're staying in his mansion. Hugo rubbed Mathis's head, messing up his hair, at which point Mathis gave a dissatisfied frown. Seeing his expression, Hugo's perception of the stammering young man from his afternoon changed slightly. It's his house. It's his mansion. Leave him alone, Hugo.
なんだお前、そんな顔もできんのか？短気なところは兄貴にか？
Ooh, don't bring up the brother.
ジャンからはそっくりだってよく言われます。
ほー。なんつうかお前見てると実家の妹たちを思い出すな。
Isn't it dangerous to be outside?
一族揃ってリライバーになってからすっ かり可愛げがなくなったが、あいつらも昔はこんな感じだった気も。
They lost their... What happens when you become a reliver?
ヒューゴさんはリライバ
You obviously lose a
だったんで
piece
す
of
ね。
yourself.
ああ、そっちは？
Yeah, how old is Mathis?
ー。僕は違います。
John, 17?
まだ純粋な人間としての17歳
How is John
で
17?
す。
As they continued their idle exchange, something drew near from above. Uh-oh. Suddenly. No, Mathis! A silent blade flashed before their eyes. It swung downward. This is why Mathis said not to go outside.
ヒューゴさん
Where's John? The sword he quickly pulled from his sheath pushed back the approaching blade. Oh, he managed to deflect the full attack, sustaining only a gash that sent droplets of blood over the Claude family's garden. Mathis's eyes fell upon the person whose shadow darkened the blood on the grass. Who is it? Oh, is it him already?
お前
It's
あの
Barreau.
時の
Along with memories of despair, the hatred hidden deep in his heart returned. The timid young man's personality slowly shifted into a different color.
兄さんを殺した
Oh, we're scared. Why did he show up already? Mathis brandished the knife that he kept close for this very moment. At that, Hugo clicked his tongue as he too knew who the assailant was. Well, we're screwed.
おいおい、冗談だろ。いきなり当たりを引いちまったじゃねえか。
Why is he here, though?
つか、なんでこのタイミングでクーネに拠点を移したんじゃなかったのかよ。まさか自分が追われているのを察して俺たちを潰しに来た。
I mean, maybe. This was no time to be thinking, where is John? Hugo's priority was to protect Mathis, who lacked any real fighting prowess. But the young man in need of protection took an unexpected course of action. What does he do? His deceptively frail figure wielded the dagger in hand and quickly lunged toward the assailant to strike. I was kind of like, this kid's gonna be a loose cannon.
おい、何やってんだこのバカ。
And down he goes. Bro easily parried Mathis's foolhardy attempt and quickly followed with a sharp kick. Why didn't he... Mathis! Hugo suddenly went pale. He knew he wouldn't make it in time. The young man was going to die with one more strike from Barreau. But the attack didn't happen. Instead, the killer quickly turned his weapon toward another target. Hugo's relief that Mathis was no longer the target opened him up for an attack.
一瞬で俺の目の前に化け物かこいつ。
Why isn't he attacking Mathis, though? Monster was hardly an exaggeration. Is this John? Hugo somehow blocked one blow after the other, but... I don't want Hugo to die! The strikes came so furiously that he couldn't determine exactly what type of weapon was being used against him. Out of the corner of his eye, Hugo noticed Mathis doing his best to stand up again.
エロそうして
Yeah, I don't... Why is he not going after him?
こっちを向け僕が相手だ
Mathis tried to capture his attention, but... Something's with Barreau. As if nothing had happened, Barreau disregarded his challenger.
Huh?
Oh, Mathis's surprise was only natural. Barreau, the cruel murderer who terrorized the wealthy, when faced with a direct taunt, turned his attention away from Mathis, the master of the estate. I'm thinking this is John, unless John shows up. Instead, the killer's target had somehow become Hugo, who was fighting for his life.
ちマティスに気がいかねえのはいいが
I know, but I don't want you to die either, Hugo. Please don't die, Hugo. I can't. Yeah, the sounds outside were unmistakable. Yeah, get your butts outside.
ちヒューゴ死にたくなきゃ頭下げろ
You gonna chuck something? Oh, he's bleeding! The door had slammed open with a kick. A large vase came hurling out from inside the house. Oh, there goes a lot of money. It flew at a speed fast enough to kill if it struck the assailant's head, but shattered at once with a swing of his blade. Yves and Adolf ran out and swiftly took their place on each side of the injured Hugo.
ヒューゴ無事だね
Did you get stabbed somewhere?
無
Obviously.
傷ではねえけどな
Yeah, just don't bleed out, please.
こいつが例のブローか
Where's
だろう
John?
よマティスが血走った目で睨んでんのそっからでも見えんだろ
I don't look bloodshot to me. I mean, he looks fine. Mathis glared, huffing and panting as he dragged himself to his knife intended for Barreau. Adolf swiftly took action.
暴
Where's
走させんの
John?
はまずいな
セレスジャン
Why are you calling me? Oh. Why are you calling me?
坊
Right?
ちゃんお願いしますセレスさん
Okay. Oh, that's why. Just to get the Mathis. Ceres and John moved quickly. John offered cover while supporting the injured Hugo with his shoulder. Ceres did her best to hold Mathis back so that he wouldn't move any closer. You're
何するんだ
gonna get in the way, kiddo.
話せよ
You're gonna get in the way.
イさんの仇が目の前にいるんだぞ
Let them injure him and then you could kill him later. I know, but I'm sorry. Now's not the time. Need to apprehend him first. The executioner glanced over at the two and quickly vanished. His shadow followed at the speed of dark until both had gone from the garden.
逃がすか追うぞイブ
I am confused.
ああセレス君はヒューゴの手当てとマティスを
Okay, okay. Okay. Two dashed away. She prayed for their safe return and tried to somehow convince Mathis to go back inside, but... Just... Stop moving! Mathis forced himself to his feet, making Ceres fall to the ground.
生かさない
Just grab a hold of his legs. Be like, nope!
絶対に
Nope, child, nope. He snatched the knife from the ground and ran from the garden after Yves.
坊ちゃん
Oh my gosh. Please wait, Mathis.
暴走車かあいつは
I'd be like, someone needs to take care of Hugo. He's kind of bleeding.
じゃあ俺の手当てはいいあいつが何かやらかす前に捕まえろ
I,
わかりました
no. The gate that Mathis had just gone through suddenly opened again, letting in a crowd of people.
おいクロードさんこれは一体何の騒ぎださっき武器を持った連中がここから飛び出してきたのが見えたぞ
How dare you walk through our front gate, sirs? The timing couldn't have been any worse. Sensing the commotion, the people quickly surrounded John. John?
セレスさん申し訳ありませんどうか俺の代わりに坊ちゃんを
There's no time to think. She was the only one who could move now. Understood. Let's run in our heels. Ceres nodded in response to John's plea, determined to stop Mathis before he got to Barreau. She wove through the crowd, running out into the night streets of Chetis. Hey, look, it's the alley. It's not stained in blood. Adolf and Eve gave chase and finally cornered Barreau at a dead end. That's probably not. And now we're winded.
ようやく追いついた俺たちに対して
I was like, now you're winded, so that's not good. Adolf pointed his sword at Barreau, but who was clearly a force to be reckoned with.
質問だクーネで起きた
It's like, oh
殺人
god,
も
this is a horrible
お前の仕
decision.
業か
Oh god, sorry, I had to cough. He quietly lifted up his weapon. Hey, is that a halberd? Halberd? Is that what they're called?
獲物はハルバードか。
Yeah.
また扱いづらいもんを。
でもその扱いづらい武器で
I mean, it has
住
the
人や近衛兵を皆殺しにしたってこと
has
は
the pointy bit.
相当やばいぞ。油断した瞬間に間違いなくやられる。
I'm surprised he was hiding that thing. Those things are massive.
暴力はあまり好きじゃないんだけどな。
I mean, you're gonna have to with this one. Eve's let out a sigh, pulling at a rapier that shone in the darkness.
お人よしも大概にしとけ。
わかってるよ。好きじゃないけど、やらないとは言ってない。どうしてこんなことをするのか、じっくり彼に話を聞いてみたいところだけど、あいにく話が通じる相手じゃなさそうだ。さすがにそのぐらいの区別はつく。
If Virche escaped, Moore would undoubtedly die. Yeah, that's true.
徹底的に叩きのめして踏んじばった後、正体と動機をじっくり聞けばいい話だよね。
Oh, it's so cute that you think you're gonna be able to do that. Ives turned his endearing smile to Virche.
大丈夫。君にどんな理由があろうとなかろうと、俺は最初から全てを否定したりしない。君の言い分は、時間をとっていくらでも聞き遂げてみせる。その後、君が殺してきた人々の墓と、あの少年に
I don't think I take the
Doka.
apology. I'm
詫
gonna
び
be,
てくれないか。
gonna be honest. Virche's gotta be a clone. There's no way. His kind words merely served as a signal that the battle is about to begin. I love this artwork. It's so good. The dry clanging of metal echoed through the quiet alleys. The long sword slashed, the rapier thrusted. Yet Virche blocked and parried each blow, responding to them with a swipe of his halberd. Each weapon struck at a different range. Aves and Adolf could tip the fight in their favor if only they could get within range. That was their plan, but they were unable to close the distance, thereby losing any possible advantage.
あ、大口叩いた後でごめん。これはちょっときついかもだ。
Yeah, you have a broken
安
rib.
心しろ。俺もだ。
Their light exchange helped to reduce the tension they felt from their struggle. The battle was 2 against 1, yet it was Aves and Adolf who sustained repeated attacks on their shoulders and arms. Yeah, that's not good.
何もかもがデタラメだ。人間にできる動きじゃな
That's what
い。
I'm saying! Unless it's Anko, but what? He didn't attack Saris. The halberds were as heavy as they looked and not considered swift weapons. No, they're very bulky. In the hands of normal people, at least. Virche was able to reposition himself immediately after each swing, when it would take anyone else a few seconds. Yeah, they're really
まさに
bulky.
化け物だな。
He's gotta be like Anko. But
気づいてるか、イブ。
もちろん。この人が本気なら俺たちはもう
yeah,
とっくに肉塊になってるはずだ。
he took out a whole battalion or whatever. Despite his display of astounding prowess, the assailant was still holding back. The wounds they received, while deep enough to bleed, were not life-threatening.
ヒューゴには最初から殺すつもりで襲いかかったはずなのに、なんで
He didn't have the time to think. Because Hugo was the target. Eve suddenly went tense, seeing Virche lower his stance and pull his halberd to the side.
アドルフ、上と下どっちだと思う？
I mean, I don't know.
下だな。
It's gonna go up.
じゃあそっちで。勘は君の方がよく当たる。
It's like, I don't know. The two jumped up immediately. And just like that, the halberds deadly swiped in the air the two had just stood. They both gulped at the same time. It didn't seem like he wanted to kill them, but he was intent on incapacitating them. The two had lost too much blood and were already wounded beyond reason. Yeah, you're gonna black out soon. In contrast, her opponent hadn't even broken a sweat and was still swinging his weapon as though it was nothing. I like this guy. We're going to lose. Just as the four words flashed through their minds. Mathis! What's up, dude? They're like, ah, crap. The Avenger arrived at the worst time. I love him. Mathis, no longer a frightened voice, screamed as if his throat was being ripped open. Oh, Mathis, you're... Even when you're screaming, you're adorable. Adolf's word fell on deaf ears as Mathis threw his knife into rage. The knife he had been sharpening for this very moment flew between Eves and Adolf straight toward its target. It must have been a mere reflex for the executioner. With a wave of his halberd, he deflected the knife back. It was being sent back through the same path it came. No, Mathis! The knife menacing tip headed straight for Mathis. Oh, are we gonna pop out of nowhere and get stabbed? Just as it was about to strike Mathis's head. Mathis! No, not us! Did we get hit? Or did it cut her? In the nick of time, Mathis's body was pushed down from behind and the deadly blade passed right above it. The one who saved Mathis from imminent death was... us! Because did we get stabbed in the face? The young woman known as Death. Mathis's frenzy for vengeance stopped at the sight of his unexpected savior. I'm looking after you, kid! I was worried and because of my promise. So gonna let you die? Saris knew immediately that she arrived at the best and worst possible time. She was pale and trembling, the knife having just brushed against her. Okay, so missed us, barely. The reason she intervened to stop Mathis was... You said it yourself before. Mathis, you asked me to help so that we could go after Barreau together. Don't be stupid. Having someone ask me for my help was special to me. It meant more to me because of how important it was. I didn't want you to be killed in some lonely place because I couldn't be of any help to you. Aww. The madness and anger in Matthias's eyes slowly faded. Mathis's eyes. In their place, something else was reflected. Strands of gold fluttered to the ground. Saris's golden hair lay scattered around them in the dark alley. The knife that flew overhead took her hair and placed it in Matthias's life. Mathis's life. Not Matthias, Mathis. Sorry. The shimmering of gold from the moonlight upon her fallen hair caught everyone's eyes. Barreau remained still at the sight. Oh, is he afraid of us? Who are you? Barreau! But it's not Uncle, because he told us to stop this person. Who are you? The executioner backed away slowly. He quickly leapt up and kicked off from the alley walls to make his way upward, melting into the darkness of the night sky. So he doesn't like us. Or he's afraid of us. Or didn't want to hurt us? I don't know. There's some... Silence fell upon the alley. Released from the bloodied halberd, the two corpse members gently fell to their knees. Fell to their knee first onto the ground. He's like a ninja.
一撃を入れるどころかかすめさせることもできなかった。
I'm like, I'm bleeding out again.
あんな強い人がこの国にいたんだね。
Help me. Adolf, Aves, you're bleeding! Yeah, we...
気にすんな。
We're aware.
見かけほどひどくね。
自分たちで応急処置するから。君はマティスのことを見ててほしい。
Nothing happened to Mathis. I just pushed him to the ground. He's like, okay. Let's go get you guys a bath. Clean up the wounds. Well, that was exciting. My gaze turned to Mathis slumped onto the ground in a complete stupor. How's it going?
ブローがどこにもいない。
Yeah, he kind of vanished like a ninja.
逃がし兄さんの
It's more like
敵
it's more like
やっと
but it
見つけた。
he found you. You didn't find him. Mathis finally returned to his senses, coming to terms with the harsh reality. Don't hurt your hands, kid. Don't hurt your pretty hands. He punched the ground angrily. Yeah, I could tell with the sound. I need to talk to him. I think. Mathis? I have no regrets about holding you back. Looks like even you and Adolf weren't able to stop the killer. It was clear that Mathis didn't stand a chance when Barreau first struck. Fortunately, in the garden outside his mansion, for some reason he was spared. But he might not have been so lucky this time. I don't think Barreau was meaning to kill him. I think that was an accident. If you faced Barreau without a plan, he probably would have killed you before you had a chance to exact your revenge. Extract. I know this is horrible to say, but you might have died for nothing. It's not something that I need to say since you know yourself best, Mathis.
それは
If you were killed, you think your late brother or John, who you would have left behind, would have praised your bravery? I knew what I was saying was cruel. Mathis's revenge was his and his alone. It wasn't up to me to stop him or reprimand him. I mean, I knew that, but I had to talk sense into him somehow, even if it made me sound arrogant. And it was probably because I was scared. Such a kind soul who had looked me in the eye and asked me for help could easily be lost just like that.
分かってる。
I saved your life! It's mine now. Mathis bit down on his lip, expressing his regret in a hoarse whisper.
そんなことは最初から分かってた。あいつを見た瞬間、
You poor thing.
兄さんが殺された時の記憶が蘇って、頭の中が真っ赤に染まって、自分の中から溢れる醜い感情を抑えることができなくなった。
Yes, I know what you mean. Someone important to you was taken away, and I still asked you to stop. It was cruel of me to say so. I'm sorry. Aw, our poor sweet baby needs a hug. Aww. His expression twisted as he felt the full extent of his powerlessness. Oh, our poor sweet thing. Finally, John! Took you long enough. John finally arrived and threw his arms around Mathis.
ジョン、
Oh.
ご無事ですか？お怪我は？
いい。
Aww. Hearing his quiet voice and feeling his heartbeat.
本当に
Aww.
よかった。
Poor John. John embraced him even more tightly.
どうかもう二度とこのようなことはしないでください。坊ちゃんにもしものことがあったら、
Bro's gotta be a crazy reliver, cause...
俺にはもうこの世で生きていく理由がありません。
Aww. Mathis sniffled in John's caring arms. Oh, that's so sweet.
ごめんなさい。 さんも
Oh.
無茶をして約束破ってごめんなさい。
Oh, you sweetie.
失う不安を僕が一番嫌いな感情を
Oh, I want to give him a hug.
ごめん。
Oh. You're so sweet. Oh. Mathis forced out the words through tears. Although he regretted his outburst, he didn't say anything about giving up on his revenge. Should he quit now or see it through? The answer to that was up to him. The exchange of hatred and madness, even at the risk of death. Perhaps this was one of the many new deaths that the Watchman mentioned before. Oh. So sad. Chapter 3 of the Common Route still.
コンコンと儚い少女は咳をする。大丈夫かい？体の調子は？聞き慣れた心配に少女は大丈夫だと笑顔で答える。だがいつも不思議に思うのだ。自分より早く死ぬ彼らはどうしていつも笑顔なのだろう。
Did they?
はてさて、迫る死が怖いなんて困ったものだわ。
And that's
こ
why
の国の中では仲間外れになってしまう。
that's why most people like believing in an afterlife. Just saying.
少女は愛らしい声でそう泣いた。
Alright, whose viewpoint are we now?
なるほど。私が寝込んでいる一晩の間にそんな物騒なことがあったのね。ヒューゴさん、あなたも随分と大変な目にあったのね。
俺はまだ比較的傷が浅い方でしたから、軽い止血と消毒で済みましたよ。
So weird that I ship these two. I don't know why. I just do.
シュディの人間を襲う猟奇殺人鬼。私も子供たちの安全のために国内の情報はこまめに拾っているけれど、そんな噂は初めて聞いたわ。
She looks like she should be like a battle nun, though. Wasn't there a show about battle nuns? I don't remember, but
俺もです。自分の実家近くで
I
あ
ship
んな
them.
化け物が暗躍してたなんて。想像するだけでゾッとします。この衛兵がろくに仕事してりゃ、まだ心構えができたってのに。
I can't do Jack's diddly squat.
本当に。
Wait, his family lived there. How did he not know this? If everyone in the rich neighborhoods knew this, he should have known this, or at least his family did.
にしても、正直、あのブローの目的は、俺にはよくわかりません。
So the gouging is from the spear point of the halberd. So
この国の人間を殺したところ
I
で、
thought he was
バ
collecting
ックアップさえ取
hearts.
ってるなら、リライバーとして蘇ることができる。支援でも、金欲しさの犯行でもないなら、
I'm confused too.
な
Maybe
んで
he
わざわ
just
ざ
maybe he just wants to know how it feels to kill somebody. But he's already been doing that. I don't know.
そうね。確かに不思議ではあるけれど、
Maybe he's getting blood? Well, no, because blood's everywhere.
本当に殺人に快楽を見出すだけの異常者なのだとしたら、
True.
動機も利益も考える必要はないと思うわ。
He just gets off on it, I guess.
自警団、アドルフたちはまだそのブローを追うつもりでいるの？
はい。まあ、俺としちゃ正直、あんな化け物には二度と関わり合いになりたくないんですけど、
But he might come after you.
アドルフとイブは 自警団の中で最も強い実力者です。
I mean, you did perfectly fine.
そんなあいつらが二人がかりでも勝てない化け物だからこそ、このまま放置することはできない。リーダーであるアドルフはそう判断しました。つうわけでアドルフたちに代わってシスターにその報告をしに来たわけです。
It's like, I want to stay away from this.
そう。セレスまで巻き込まれたと聞いたときは心臓が止まるかと思ったけれど、アドルフたちが一緒にいてくれて本当に良かったわ。
But Virche ran away every time we showed up, so...
それで二人の怪我の程度は？
So there's something.
かろうじて無事です。ただまあ軽傷でもないんで。リュカ先生が紹介してくれたあそこで軽く入院つか傷の手当てを受けてますよ。
あそこってまさか
Are we at like a giant cathedral?
あの病院のこと？その大丈夫な
Oh
の
yeah,
かし
with,
ら？
with Saris, I'm not sure.
まあシスターが心配する気持ちはわかりますよ。運営する団体の毛色が変わってますし。ただあの病院自体は善良な医者の集まりなんで、
We'll see.
危害を加えられることはないと思います。俺がいないならあのメンツは誰もリライバーじゃないですし。
You're a liver? I thought he was...
そう。
Oh wait, no,
ユ
he
カ
said
先
he
生の
was.
紹介なら仕方ないわね。
So he's well over the
で
age
も
of... Okay.
ヒューゴさん、あなた今までのやりとりや性格から察するに
How are two
自警団のブレーキ
non-relivers more
役よね。
powerful than the relivers? You guys just suck at your job.
そんなあなたを見込んでちょっとしたお願いがあるのだけど、
Mm-hmm. Yes.
くれぐれもどうかアドルフ、そしてセレス、私のかわいいかわいい貴重で大事な唯一無二の子供たちに無謀な真似をさせて危険な目に遭わせないでちょうだいな。あの子たちには他の人間と違ってまだ控えの命がないの。
Has Eve?
だから死んだら取り返しがつかない。あなたの無茶をしそうな相棒さんにもよーく言い聞かせておいてくれる？
Turned into a thinly veiled threat.
ほら、お返事は？
Yep, they're a very thinly veiled threat.
はい善処します。
She's scary. I like her. I quite like mother. Alright, let's go back. I was at a hospital in Cohen. Okay, this went well. After peeling the apples he received as a gift, I cut them into even pieces. I then placed them on 2 plates. And I've cut a few apples. Would you like some, Eve?
ありがたくいただくよ。俺リンゴとか果物全般好きなんだよね。あ、すごい。君ってやっぱり器用なんだ。
Huh?
剥いたリンゴの皮がこんなに細く、しかも切れることなくつながってるなんて。
Oh, she did it in that cool, like, all the way around the apple thing.
俺自分で剥くと
Who
どんな
peels
に気をつけ
apples?
ても一度は切れちゃうからさ。
I don't like peeling apples.
Okay,
I like
so
the skin. Oh, thank you, but I just happened to get it right this time. He was lying in bed wearing loose clothes. As he crunched away at the apples, I could only imagine how many bandages he had wrapped around him under those clothes. Probably a lot. I turned toward the other person in the room.
この窓から逃げれば出口までそこまで距離はねえな。
Oh my gosh, Adolf, no.
あとは警備の有無を確認して一刻も早くここから。
But the rest of us are still here, so no. Adolf had only been admitted for a day, but he was already planning his escape. He clearly doesn't like staying here. I hate hospitals too. They're awful. We are accompanied by Mathis?
いやー、ま
Yes!
さか
My beautiful
仕様で訪
man.
れた病院に
You're so pretty.
可愛い元教え子たちが 血だらけで運ばれてくるとは予想もしていませんでした。
I need more Lucas. Lucas was chuckling as he looked at the new patients he had referred to the hospital.
まあ、俺も思ってなかった。
Lucas, you're so pretty.
あ連日何かとご迷惑をおかけします。
最終的に命が無事ならいくらでも迷惑をかけてくれて構いません。セレス君、
Yes?
君も無傷とはいえ怖い思いをしたでしょう。
Yes, please give me a hug. Hug me,
こ
please.
こ数日立て続けに事件や人死にに遭遇する君の心に深い傷が残っていないか。
Give me cuddles.
先生はそれが
Make me feel
と
safe.
ても心配ですよ。
Safety cuddles? Yes? Thank you for thinking of me. Give me cuddles. But I'm fine, really. I didn't get close to this Barreau person. You ran away. More importantly, is everything okay? I heard they have to stay in the hospital for a while.
本来ならそうしてほしいところだがね。
And who be you, sir?
全身の裂傷、多量出血による貧血。
Oh, that was that
う
was
ち
from,
1名はなぜか肋骨まで折れている。
that was from Lucas.
だというのに、
Well, hello,
ブローを
sir.
負うためにも入院なんてするわけにはいかないと。そこの頑固な患者2人はそう訴えて譲らないのだよ。
The calm, stern doctor spoke with a chart of medical notes in his hands.
おや、カプシーヌ先生、
Cappuccino.
もう回診が終わったのですか？
I want to say cappuccino, but it's cappuccino.
ああ、皆おとなしく診察を受けてくれる良い患者ばかりだからね。いつ脱走するかわからない、そこの困った患者2名とは大違いだ。
Two troublesome patients groaned. The doctor must have sensed that their escape attempt could happen as soon as tonight.
痩せ我慢も大概にしたまえ。特にそちらのイブ君。君は肋骨や全身の激しい打撲も含め、押せばのたうち回るほどの傷を負っているだろうに。
Just sit down, stay in bed, heal up.
そうなんですか？
断定で進めている話に対し、なぜ疑問形で返すんだね。
The man stared at his two patients with cold eyes. His robe was noticeably different from the rest of the hospital staff's. Excuse me, is this...
ええ、運ばれてきた2人を治療してくれた先生ですよ。
I don't know why we would choose blue for a hospital, but... He chuckled at the nature of the situation. His pleasant demeanor differed somewhat from the serious doctor next to him.
さて、終始治療で慌ただしかったが、君たちとは初対面。改めて自己紹介をさせてもらおう。私はカプシーヌという 風変わりな身なりだが、
Hello, sir.
この病院の院長、つまりは医者だ。リュカ君には入院患者たちへの訪問授業で世話になっている。
私の方も個人的な事情で
Oh?
カプシーヌ先生には親しくさせていただいているので、
Because you're ill?
その縁で皆さんの治療をお願いしました。
After Dr. Capuchin continued in a nonchalant way, saying that they owed each other. What was interesting was how Dr. Capuchin's expression didn't change much. Still, his choice of words and the tone of his voice was telling of his friendship with Lucas. Maybe he just isn't the type to show his emotions. It appeared that my assumptions were correct. Dr. Capuchin was carefully examining Adolf and Eve, asking them how they felt and whether they needed anything. In front of me was a doctor following his calling, doing his best for his patients.
命に別状はないが、
Yeah,
君たちも災難だった
they
よう
got
だね。
jacked up, man.
しかし箝口令が敷かれているブローの件に関わって、この兵たちから咎められなかったのかい？
Well, they didn't know about the gag order.
それは大丈夫です。今はここにいないマティスという少年がうまくごまかしてくれましたから。
ならばよし。
We know people in high places.
君たちを追ってこの病院に兵たちが乱入してきたら、さすがに追い出すところだった。
Well, considering they want to be allowed out, I don't think that would be
と
too
は
bad
い
for them.
え、我が病院はこの国の中でも治外法権のようなもの。
I kind of really want to know who Barreau is.
無用な揉め事は避けたい
What
は
his
ず。
connection with us is. As Dr. Capchin spoke, I could hear faint shouting outside the window. Is it the townspeople?
セルネボルに属する研究者どもは今すぐ研究を中止せよ。倫理に反する研究にて生み出されたクローン体、すなわちリライバーは人間ではなく人間の皮をかぶった悪魔だ。
Oh, gotta love these people.
我らエクソシスト教団は生命の流転を冒涜する研究を神の皆のもと断じて許さない。
アルベシェール王家では悪魔の研究を廃止せよ。
Well, you don't have to do it. Okay. But they issued their demand with confidence. I looked out the window and saw that the hospital was located near a church visited by the people of Cohen. In front of the church was a group of people wearing robes similar to Dr. Gosh, I can't even remember. Capchones and shouted their hatred toward Relivers. Is that by chance?
ああ、遭遇するのは初めてか。彼らは私が率いるエクソシスト教団の信徒たちだよ。
Oh. I see.
だが率いるということは。
そう。私はあの教団の7代目の教祖だ。
Oh.
名ばかりのだがね。トップに立ったのもほぼ推薦からの強制だったよ。
Dr. Capchone sighed as he complained about not being able to control the followers. Ah, the plot thickens. The Society of Exorcists. I heard they were an organization comprised of those who detested artificial life and who voiced their hatred against Relivers. But unlike Lucas, who enthusiastically attended church, they did not themselves believe in God. So they're hypocrites? They gathered once a month, taking over the church. They then appealed to the believers with the message that they should die as humans and avoid relying on Reliver technology. So they're extremists
そのエクソシスト教
that
団
don't go to church.
が代々運営しているのがこの病院。理
Mm.
念は人を人のままで生かす。
Yeah, but people have choices though too.
国の呪いやその他の病や要因で死期が近い人間を
I think the curse is because of the flowers.
無理に延命
The
させる
pollen
こと
from
は
the
せず、
flowers.
負担の少ない治療で余生を過ごしてもらうのが目的だ。
I mean, that would be the best, but
僕たちもいつかはリライバーにならないとダメなんだよね。
いいえ、決してそんなことはありません。リライバーになれば確かにこの国の死の呪い
but
か
only for
ら
another
かろう
23
じて
years.
生き延びることはできます。ですが、それをあえて拒否し、23年以内にその生を終える人も
There's very little you can actually get done within 23 years. In other words, people Lucas mentioned in his lesson who refused the option were the Society of Exorcists and the patients admitted to this hospital. Of course, there were those who lived their 23 years without associating with the organization at all. I wouldn't. I don't. Extremists like that for anything.
と
Or...
はいえ、経営の都合上、君たちのような普通の患者の受け入れもしているがね。リライバーも患者や関係者からの当たりは少々強いだろうが、特に受け入れ拒否はしていな。
うちの馬が驚いて逃げ出したらどうしてくれんだ。
Oh my gosh. Come to think of it, the corpse use is the church too.
彼らも普段は信徒同士で静かに教えを説いているだ
Yeah,
け
why
な
are
の
they
です
so
が、
loud today?
今日は珍しく 賑やかですね。
Lucas was accustomed to seeing them share their ideology in his frequent visits to the church. Well, frequent once a month, I
いや
guess.
実に申し訳ない。先日セルネボルの方でリライバーが一斉量産された知らせを受け、一部信徒たちが高ぶってしまったようだ。
Okay. Mr. Capchon, Dr. Capchon's embarrassment was evident, even though his outward appearance was expressionless and calm. I suppose it meant their organization saw its own share of infighting. Of course, every organization does.
さて、話がそれてすまない。少々外がうるさいが本題に入ろう。今回、院長たる私自ら君たちの治療に当たったのには、相応の理由がある。
Because they're the corpse? Dr. Capchun raised his clipboard so that everyone could see what was on it.
実は、私はリュカ君の要請のもと、一時期葬儀屋に預けられていた。
Oh, because of the murders.
あの晩、大量発生した遺体の一部を、
sneaky.
この兵たちが運び出す前に、極秘裏に検視させてもらった。
Do you have to like cut them open to...
その結果を君たちに共有しようと思って、ね。
Thank you, Lucas. Capchun. I already forgot how to say his name. Hearing Dr. Capchun's calmly spoken words, Adolf and Eve quickly sat up in their beds. Then they turned and stared at the one who requested the autopsy to be done, Lucas. Thank you, Lucas.
勝手なことをしてしまい申し訳あり
So
ません。
beautiful.
ですが、私も皆さんの調査に少しでも力になれればと思い。
Sneaky. You're so fake. I love it.
いや、謝る必要はない。
As Adolf said, you faker. You sneaky faker. Are you sure it's okay to be helping us out like this? I thought the corpse weren't able to perform autopsies because it was against the law. Here's the thing. When you only live to be 23, the threat of imprisonment kind of loses its threat because, like, okay, I'll just be in prison for, what, a year? They'll die anyway.
遺体を無駄に荒らさなければこの兵たちがいくら調べようと。
Unless they force you to be a reliver and then keep you in prison forever. Dr. Capchon went on to explain that it required careful incisions, meaning that they were limited in what they could do. Yeah, I was like, they can't just like cut everything open. He then brought out additional medical notes, this time written in a way that he couldn't immediately understand. That we couldn't immediately understand.
君たちが把握している通り、遺体の種類は2つあったな。
Yeah.
死因はおそらく両方とも胸からの出血によるショック死で違いない。
Yeah.
だが、それぞれその死に至るまでの過程が決定的に違う。
Yeah, they were gouged, right?
君たちが求めるのなら詳しく話すが。
Please do. I'm very interested in this story. We looked at each other at the same time.
悪い、セレス。
No!
お前が
Oh, wait, I thought he was gonna kick me out.
何か
Okay.
何かに記録してくれるか。
Oh, sure, I can do that.
そうだね。俺たちまだちょっと貧血で体に力が入らないし頭も回らないからお願いしたいかな。
I would gladly. I was afraid they were gonna kick me out of the room. All right, let us ask about the murders.
胸部に大きな穴が開き、探検を突き立てられた遺体の方か。
Okay.
こちらは犯人が例のブローだとほぼ断定されているので、そうだな。
Okay.
惨殺死体とでも呼ぼう。
But he was using a halberd, not a knife.
この惨殺死体で何よりも気になるのは胸に開いた穴の存在だね。
Yes.
私の方でその穴を軽く調べてみたところ、そこにあるはずの
Ah, so he is taking their hearts. Okay, so I was right. Huh? His horrific report made the air freeze. Missing a heart? That isn't a figure of speech, is it? No.
見事にぽっかりとなくなっている。
Okay, so he is kind of like Jack the Ripper. I think he took like their spleen or something. Was that Jack the Ripper? Anyway. Dr. Kepchon continued calmly despite hearing my audible gasp.
つまりブローはわざわざ心臓を遺体からえぐり出し持ち去った、ということになる。
To get to the heart, he would have to crack open the... Unless he shoved his hand in, went under the rib cage, he would have had to crack open the rib cage to get to the heart. So he must have gone gouged a hole in their stomach area and then shoved his hand up in there and ripped their heart out.
いや
Unless...
むしろ心臓を持ち去るために犯行に及んでいるのかもしれない。
Unless he pulled a Mortal Kombat finisher and just punched his hand through their chest and ripped their heart out. Which he probably could do.
しかしここまで美しく無慈悲に心臓をえぐり出せる人間が存在
Ruthless but
するとは。
beautiful. Yeah, he must have shoved his hand in through the incision.
彼女には一周回って外科医となる才能がある。
Man, woman, whatever.
いっそ私自ら勧誘したいぐらいだ。
冗談にしても不謹
I
慎
mean,
です
I
よ。
thought it was funny.
先生。
Not like hilarious, but I thought it was funny. Alright, let's ask about the mutilations. I should probably ask about the other deaths. Yeah.
他殺か事故死かも不明な胸の肉をむしられた痕跡がある奇妙な遺体の方だね。こちらに関しては未だ謎が多いが、胸の肉を何でえぐり取ったのか、それはおおよそ予想できる。
Oh, right, he removed flesh from other bodies. Was it like a... Dr. Capcho took a breath, hesitant to say much more, then slowly took his gloves off. He returned his hands up so that we could see the backs of his hands and fingers. I wasn't sure what he was trying to tell us by showing his hands. He was using his hands? They all tipped their heads to look, but all of us were clearly at a loss. He was using his fingernails? As though expecting that reaction, he said,
爪だ。
Ah, gross! He was scraping their skin off with their fingernails? Dr. Capchone's eyes narrowed. Huh? I looked at my own hands. I stared at the white tips of my own fingernails.
遺体を調べたところ、被害者たちの両手の爪の隙間には、
Oh,
かき
they...
むしられた肉の一部が挟まっていた。
So they clawed their own skin?
傷口ともおおむね一致している。
So they were clawing at themselves. Dr. Capchone's furrowed brows told me that the revelation must have been horrible. So they were clawing at themselves. He put his gloves back on his hands then picked up the clipboard again.
おそらく被害者たちは尋常ならざる握力を持って自らの爪で胸をかき
But
む
how was
し、
he able to make them do that?
多くがその過程で失血により死亡したのだろう。中には爪が肋骨の隙間を縫い、心臓にまで到達している者もいたがね。
How would you get through the rib? I guess you could...
つまり結論を言えば自死に違いない。
But how? I mean, why? Words couldn't describe my utter disbelief. So all those people killed themselves by clawing out their chests, experiencing pain beyond imagination, then died in the pool of their own blood? Just the thought of the madness in those last moments sent a sharp pain through my heart. But what Burrow do? Take his hat, his freaking hood off, and show them their
自
face?
死には違いないのだが、
Like freaking Cthulhu and drive them insane?
なぜ被害者たちはこうも一斉にそのような手段で自死を図ったのか、
That's what I'm
それだ
thinking.
けは不明だね。
I think it's a Cthulhu thing. Drop the hood and everyone goes crazy.
まともな自我や痛覚、理性を持つ人間ができる強行ではないよ。
I'm
あれば。
I really want to know what Burrow looks like. I couldn't stop my hand from shaking as I finished taking down the notes. All right, we're writing this down. But what the Watchman of Death said was true. These sudden mysterious deaths. It was clear that they weren't caused by the usual curse.
両方とも胸に損傷があるという点では通じているが、下手に混合などはせず、完全に別件として扱い、調査することを進めておこう。
覚えておく。
それからそれぞれの事件で
This is,
死んだ被害者たちに共通点はあるか？
things are getting really interesting really fast.
それは残念ながらわからない。
I wonder how the routes all differ.
あくまで私は数体の遺体を軽く検視した程度だ。再調査しようにも遺体の大半は昨晩到着した近衛兵たちが回収してしまっている。
They were here?
ちやられたな。
ブローが絡んでる事件だから今回は対応
They
が早かったの
actually
かも
did
しれな
their
い。
job. You said most. Does that mean not all of them were taken?
ああ、これは内密にしてほしいのだが。
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep coughing.
現場に居合わせた遺族により身元が判明した数体の変死体があってね。その被害者はリライバー化用のバックアップを取っていなかった。よって二度と蘇らないという悲観から、
So was someone killing
遺
non-relivers?
族は検視、死者の体を暴くことに激しい嫌悪感を抱き、埋葬することを希望したのでね。秘密裏に私たちの手で墓へ埋めさせてもらった。
So they're all non-relivers. The families of the scene of the crime. Well, no, because he was going after Hugo, and Hugo's a reliver. Maybe one of them was that man who grieved for his son and his son's girlfriend.
さすがに墓を掘り起こして死体をよこせ。
Was the girlfriend the girl that just became a reliver? I agree. It also wouldn't make much sense now. After all, we can't perform autopsies on the other bodies or verify their identities without going through the royal guard. You could
事件性のある遺体の検視許
dig
可は
up the
この
corpses
病
of
院
the
に降り
fresh
ていないか
ones
らね。
that you buried in the middle of the night, since they're the ones who did the burials, and then just not tell anyone that you dug someone up. Grave robbing? Everyone nodded in agreement. As it stood, the best we could do right now was pray that the proper autopsy could be conducted by the authorities. We're not going to do jack diddly squat. But assuming they did come up with the results, that didn't mean the information would be shared with corpse. I think it's a member of the royal family.
では私は仕
Just
事に
an
戻るよ。
assumption.
治療費の請求書は後ほどそれぞれの自宅に送る。
Because that would explain why the royal family's covering it up so much.
病院
Well,
を
I mean,
危
they
険
said
にさ
that
らすわけにはいかないので、
they
限界はあ
killed
る
the
ね。
royal guard, so maybe. I don't know.
個人的にどちらの事件にも大いに興味がある。安全な範囲での協力ならば惜しまない。
He paused for a moment.
そこの二人はくれぐれも安静に。最低でも今宵一晩は入院していきたまえ。
Yeah, you guys need to rest up, man. I want to see more Lucas. And with those stern words, Dr. Cupchone quietly departed the room. I know I'm screwing up his name. People knew me as Death, but with the department of Dr. Cupchone, who didn't know my identity, we began another discussion from a different angle. The one who spoke first was Lucas.
結論としては自殺と他殺いずれも容疑者の存在ははっきりとしています。となればクーネの人々から向けられたセレス君の容疑も晴れるのでは？
Yeah, but we're not officially allowed to say that, though.
どうだろうな。
そもそもブローについては
Yeah.
観光令が敷かれている
Exactly,
か
the
ら
gag order won't
俺
let
たち
us.
から公にはできませんし、ここは呪いなんて概念が当たり前のように浸透してる国です。
Yeah.
理屈なんて関係なく事件のすべてを強引に彼女に結びつけて無理やりにでも犯人に従う人が出てくるかも。
Yeah, they'll just say that she caused the murderer to murder people and them to commit suicide.
変死の方もこいつが人々を狂わせた結果だ。
Ugh, people.
なんて無茶苦茶なことを言い出すやつが出てくるかもしれねえ。
I like Adolf. I like everyone, honestly.
確かに私の考えが浅はかでした。その可能性は大いにありえますね。現に最近は雷雨や畑の不作、ちょっとした風の流行、
Cat mischief.
猫のいたずら、
How am I
妙な幽
responsible?
霊騒ぎまで
How am I responsible for
彼
cat
女の
mischief?
仕業だという人々の声がシュディやセルネボルの方まで届いているようですから。
Wonder how long ago they started. I was accustomed to hearing this type of rumor. In the context of false accusations, they really did go too far.
さてと
Yeah, we're making the cats go crazy, guys.
行くか。
We're the cat whisperer. They sat up in bed as though they had just woken up on an ordinary morning. It was clear they intended on getting dressed and ready to go. What are you two doing?
詰め所に戻る。こんなとこでいつまでも寝てられるか。
No, you need to
ヒュー
rest.
ゴの怪我も心配だし
Oh
彼
my
とも
gosh.
合流しないと
You guys really do not listen to orders. You really shouldn't be doing this. I understood where they were coming from, especially given how dangerous Kun was with Barreau around. Still, but it's been going on for years. Dr. Kapchun said very clearly that you two should stay here overnight.
そう。彼女の言う通り。
Who is this mysterious person? The door to the room creaked open slightly. Through the gap, is it Hugo? Cold eyes were glaring straight at us. I love you!
私はね、
Kapchun!
この病院の患者ならば誰であろうと平等に扱うが、
He's like, I knew you were gonna do this.
限りある命を存在に扱う。
You guys are gonna get
勝
tied to
手
the beds.
極まりない患者だけは
And not in a
許せ
fun
ない
way.
のだよ。それでも入院が嫌だという
He's gonna
なら
knock you two out.
とっておきの睡眠薬や
I
鎮
was gonna
静
say,
剤で
he's gonna sedate
一晩
you.
どころか数ヶ月眠ってもらうことになるが
He is skyrocketing to my favorite NPC character. Dr. Kapchun had in his hand a syringe filled with some unknown liquid, forming a drop at the syringe's tip. Sit down and behave yourselves.
はいそれじゃあ一晩だ
I would
け
still,
お世話になります
I don't know, sedate them anyway.
連日徹夜続きだったしな。
Sit down.
たまには休息も必要だろう。だから注射も採血も勘弁してくれ。
We will restrain you and we will sedate you. Behave yourselves. Where do I stay? After watching the two of them quietly tuck themselves back into bed, I stepped out into the hallway with Lucas. So where am I
やれ
staying,
やれ
Lucas?
あの二人にも困ったものですね。
Yeah.
正義感が強いのは結構ですが、それで自分の体を壊しては元も子もないというのに。
I like the flowers outside the
と
rooms.
いうよりも、
Probably makes it
ア
smell
ドルフ
nice.
君は脱走を企てていたことといい、
Hospitals.
病院にいること自体を嫌がっている様子でしたが、
I hate hospitals because of this just smell of chemicals and sickness. I hate being at hospitals. Yes, for some reason, Adolf has always disliked hospitals and doctors. He especially dislikes having his blood drawn. Me too! Mother says he even tries to run when they have health inspections at the corpse. I like
しっかりしている彼にもそんな子供っぽい一面があったのですね。
Yeah, I don't like getting my blood drawn. I actually can't get my blood drawn anymore. I can't give blood. Lucas seemed to be happy, smiling at the thought.
そういえば、君はこれからどうする予定です
I
か
want to spend time with you, Lucas. Well, I was thinking of heading back to the orphanage. I haven't been able to see Mother since she fainted.
それがいいでしょう。残っているヒューゴさんとやらから最低限の説明は受けているでしょうが、
I think I would be nervous about Adolf and Eve.
直接無事な姿を見せて安心させてあげてください。
Are you gonna walk me? Walk with me.
できれば私がお送りしたいところですが、
I
残念な
get
こ
to
と
be
に
walked
予
home.
定がありまして。
Alright, walk me home. Alright.
だったら
Oh, he can't walk me home. Mathis? You gonna walk me home?
たちが
Come on, Lucas. You're like
彼女をお送りします。
playing hard to get right now, sir.
電気自動車では目立ってしまいますから徒歩がいいでしょうね。
Yeah, but you're both so cute. I don't think that would be... We turn toward the voices in the hallway. Oh, Monsieur Claude, John.
こんにちは。
Hi.
昨日は
I really...
いろいろとご
I
迷惑を。
I need to act like it's that one, what is his name? So from Storm Lovers, Kai, who talks really slow. After somehow explaining away what happened with Barreau to the neighbors and the royal guard, Mathis excused himself from prying eyes. He headed back inside to get some rest, but now he was standing here in the hallway with John at his side.
こちらが例のブローへの復讐が目的という。
One and the same, sweetie.
はい。
Mathis.
マティス・クロード。
Mathis. I know that's the French way to say it, but I know Mathis. I know people named Mathis, so...
執事のジャンと申します。
John, you're not a butler. There is something with you. I know there's... Lucas also introduced himself to them properly in response.
それでイブさんとアドルフさんのお見舞いに来たんですけど。
Okay.
お二人の様子は。
They seem to be doing fine. Their injuries aren't life-threatening, but they have to stay overnight just in case. Oh, I want to give him a hug!
いや、よくない。
What? Mathis let out a sigh of relief, then quickly shook his head. He seemed to be trying hard not to cry. Oh, give him a hug!
僕、
Please, someone give this poor baby a hug.
二人とあなたにちゃんと
He needs a hug.
謝らないと。
Apologize.
昨晩のこ
He
と。
ran off and almost got everyone killed.
昨晩僕が自分本位に暴走した結果、ブローを捕まえ損ねてしまいましたから。
Nah, they would have been able to capture him anyway. It can't be helped, especially considering your connection to him. Yeah. Most of all, everything you did was because of how much you love your brother. At the very least, I don't think you were thinking about yourself.
Huh?
Nah, he was very much thinking about his brother.
でも
It's fine, sweet he. It's
Mathis-kun.
fine! Lucas had been told about what happened last night and looked into Mathis's eyes. Despite only meeting him for the first time, he spoke in a calm, firm voice. Yeah, because he's very much a teacher, so he's getting
話を
that
聞く
teacher,
限り
that teacher
ブロー
tone.
を相手にイブ君たちは相当不利な状況だったようです。君が手を出さなくても最終的には
Exactly.
逃していたはずでは。
If anything, he provided a great distraction.
でもそれで僕の行動が正当化されるわけじゃ。
Oh.
ええ。ですが、君はまだ子供。
You are
それ
17.
もリライバーではない。
17-year-olds do stupid things. It's fine. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. So you're
経験も
You're
知
Gucci,
識
kid.
も
You're fine.
何もかもが不足している。
I just want to give him a
未熟さ
hug.
ゆえに単慮な行動をしてしまってもおかしくない。
It's my very American mindset. It's just like, I just want to give this poor kid a hug and be like, you're fine. I'm gonna give him a little pat, the rub on the back. Be like, you're fine, sweetie. You're okay. Lucas was consoling him while at the same time reprimanding him.
君は
Very teacher-like.
悪いことをしたのでは
Getting
な
into
く
parent mode.
失敗してしまっただけです。
Aren't you only like 20? You're not that much older.
心から悔い改め
It's so
れば
weird because they're all like
きっ
within
と
like
神も
a
お
4 to
許しにな
5
られる。
age difference of each other. Because they all die at 23.
ですのでイブ君たちには邪魔をしたことではなく
Oh, it's just...
突然の乱入で驚かせてしまったことを詫びましょうね。
Mathis seemed to be bewildered by Lucas's gentle reproach.
はい。
He nodded quietly, perhaps finally convinced. Seeing him agree, my former teacher then looked at me.
ど
Yes?
ちらかというと謝罪が必要なのは彼女に対して。
So jealous of his hair. Yeah. Mathis' beautiful eyes looked... See, she knows it's beautiful too. Looked at the ends of my golden hair. His pained expression seemed to be holding back tears again. Give him a dang hug! He managed to succeed in doing so, slowly bowing to me.
昨晩は
Aww.
助けてくれて
You're so
あり
sweet.
がなのに
Sorry.
乱暴に振り払ったり
Give him a hug. Give him a
僕
hug.
のせいで
That is the least
髪
thing I'm worried about with her.
ごめん
Oh, don't worry. Only a little got cut off. My hair will grow back eventually. I should be the one to apologize. My hair grows back in like a month. I have to get my hair cut every 3 months or else it gets way too long. For saying what I did back then, even though I knew what you were going through.
いいえ
I was trying to get him to stop.
あなたの言葉は正しかったから
Mathis gave a weak smile.
兄さんの仇を殺すことは諦めてないですし、また奴を前にしたら冷静さを失ってしまうかもしれません。でもあなたたちと同盟を組んでいる以上は、その暴走にあなたたちを巻き込むようなことはしないと、そうお約束します。
Oh,
だって一緒にと。
Mathis. Oh, he's so cute.
ごめんなさい。返事も聞かないまま勝手に話を進めて。女性にとって髪の毛はとても大事なものだとそう聞いていますし、
Yes.
僕ができることなら何でもします。
You're fine.
慰謝料はおいくらですか？
You're fine. You're fine. Really, it's not as bad as you think. I appreciate the thought, though. I fused his offer, feeling a bit relieved. When he was facing Burrow before, he had a much different personality, but now this is the same Mathis who was afraid of the rumors about Mia's death. The same Mathis who, despite knowing the rumor, didn't push me out of his home. I want to return the sentiment in kind. I admit, Monsieur Claude, I'm only tagging along with Adolphe and the others. I'm probably not capable of helping much, let alone even knowing how I could possibly help, but if you don't mind, I'd like to work together to help however I can. Aww.
はい。
Oh, you're so cute.
それと
Ah.
今後は僕のこと普通に呼んでください。
We're making friends everywhere. Alright.
さん付けで呼ばれるような人間じゃありませんし、あなたの方が
Oh yeah, we're essentially calling him Mister. Aww.
何よりその
Ruffle his hair, please.
距離感があって少し寂しい
Give him a pat on the
と
head.
いうか。
He's so cute. Really? Then, if you're sure, Mathis.
は
Oh,
い、ぜひそれで。
he's so cute. He's like a
なんだか
Like,
友達ができたみたいで
cute little
嬉しいです。
shy puppy. The other two looked on at our awkward exchange. Yeah, it's like two awkward people becoming
礼儀
friends.
正しいいい子ですね。
Oh,
そちらのお嬢さんもさぞかし自慢の教え子でしょう。ほら坊ちゃん、そろそろイブさんたちを見舞いましょう。
we made
面会
friends.
時間が過ぎてしまいますよ。
We made some friends.
Oh.
First Eve, and now
Oh.
Mathis. My friend circle is growing.
お見舞いが終わり次第
Hopefully nobody
施
dies.
設にお送りするので、どこかで
I think Mathis is
時間を
that
潰
route,
してい
so
て
I
くだ
don't
さい。
think he'll die. Alright. So it's just trying to get the timing right with his talking. With their gifts in hand, Mathis headed into the room with John. Lucas, thank you very much for being a part of the conversation. We probably wouldn't have been able to discuss anything meaningful without you. Yeah, that's probably why he's like, these two awkward dorks.
差はあれど
Let me help this.
互いに人見知りのようですからね。しかし
What? Suddenly, Lucas took a step closer to me. Yes? Ooh! You are so pretty! Why is he so pretty? When the male lead's more beautiful than any female lead.
本当に
Oh, he's so gorgeous. Ah! Okay. I'll get over it. No, I probably won't.
君の美しい髪が欠
Just
け
a,
てしまったのですね。
just a little. Lucas's slender fingers. See, this man knows what he's doing. Suddenly, and without warning, lifted up the ends of my hair. His teary eyes were full of sadness. Really, I'm okay. At this rate, I felt like he was going to cry. He really likes our hair. I tried my best to prevent it from happening. Like I said before, my hair will grow back eventually. And the way it got cut isn't very noticeable either. I mean, you didn't notice until Mathis said something. I smiled in an effort to let him know that it really didn't bother me, but...
大げさなどではありません。
Why? It's my hair.
たとえ痛みがなかろうと、髪は君の体の一部に違いないのですから。
Oh my gosh, I love you, and I haven't even gotten to your route yet. Stop!
もしも私がその場にいれば、君の盾になれたというのに。
So how bad is his bad ending?
肝心な時に生徒を守れないなど。
It's like bad in the way that he...
私はなんと情けない教師なのでしょう。
I could totally see this dude going full on crazy yandere. I haven't seen like a full on yandere in a while. I need a game that's nothing but yandere. So if you guys know any, please let me know and I will totally play it. I don't usually like yanderes, but sometimes I need that toxicity in my toy. I've always been a caring and compassionate teacher. Or if you know of a route that's just a yandere in a game and you want me to do it, let me know. Tell me. I would love to. At the same time, he had only taught me a handful of times. Why do you feel so worried? I really asked him a question that had been on my mind for a while.
一度でも教えを説いた子供は
Yeah, but you're not going up to Adolf and touching him like this.
大切な生徒。
I'm
かけがえ
calling
のない宝物です。
bullshit on that. I don't know.
そんな宝物を守りたいと願うのは教師としてごく自然なことでしょう。
You're not like this with Adolf? So...
それが悪いことをしていないいい子ならば。
You're only a year older than us. Aren't you 19 or 20? Innocent? Me? Lucas regretfully let go of my hair. I remembered the many times that my former teacher had spoken to me in the past. I was so worried that would bring him misfortune or that he hated me deep down. I think it's a little more... I don't think it's hate, sweetheart. Those thoughts prevented me from having an actual conversation with him up until now. I felt like a horrible student. You know, this world would be crappy for introverts and shy people because how long it takes you to like get around to saying something to someone. Like, you die at 23, you'd have to be like, all right, I gotta, you know. Something inside me was changing. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Eve's reached out to me asking us to be friends. Eve. I keep saying Eve's because the S is right there. Think French. Think French. Okay. Matthias smiled at me so brightly. No, and he wanted to be friends too. And Adolf's already our friend. The situation was different now. Ever since that incident, so many new things had happened. Whether for better or for worse, the change was so constant that I had no time to feel bad about myself. If so, maybe I could still have time to rebuild my relationship with Lucas. No! Stop reminding me that you're sick. Lucas was almost 23 years old. Oh no! Which meant that he was close to death. Whether he chose to be alive or not, my time with him in the present would be short. If God was willing to give me the chance to repent, girl, go for it. He's right there. He's 22, 21 or 22. Adolf is 21. No, if the Watchman of Death was willing to give me a chance, I wouldn't let go of it this time. I wanted to use this opportunity to repay Lucas for always being so kind to me. So we didn't disagree, but we didn't agree to his contract. Later, Lucas was pulled away to another patient's room by some children visiting the hospital. Didn't seem like Mathis's visit was going to end anytime soon. So before he was pulled away, Lucas got approval for me to take a look around the facility. I tried to do so in a way that wouldn't interfere with the work of the doctors and nurses, but this place was much larger than I thought. Well, it is a hospital. They're usually pretty big. I'll probably get lost if I wander around any longer. I'd better head back. I turned around to go back the way I came when... Hello, small child? Hello? I heard a faint voice, almost like a whisper, coming from a nearby room. Is that the voice of one of the patients? I'd be like, I'm not a doctor, so I should probably... It seemed they were able to tell from my footsteps that someone was just outside the door. Maybe they're asking for help because they were feeling unwell? But you're not a doctor or a nurse. I paused for a few seconds, wondering whether I should help or if I would only make matters worse. I'd be like, so I'm not a nurse or a doctor. I'm just walking around. What is it that you need? Unable to ignore the distressed voice asking for help, I slowly made my way inside the room. I'm afraid about what I'm going to see. Inside was... Oh, she's so cute! You look like Lucas. She looks like Lucas. Why does she look like Lucas? Delicate young girl was lying on a very clean bed. Oh, she has a wheelchair. You need to go to the bathroom? Your diary? I breathed a sigh of relief knowing that she hadn't called for help because she was feeling sick. Still, wonder if it really is okay for me to go near such a patient. I was beginning to accept the positive changes around me, but I was still afraid. Ugh. After a moment's thought, it would be weird to not help her, so... I didn't see anyone else around outside, and she seemed troubled by the situation. If I refused her, she would probably try to get out of bed just to pick up her diary. I couldn't risk her falling and getting hurt. Oh, okay, if you don't mind. Just don't tell her we're deaf and she should be fine. I slowly and carefully moved towards the bed. I knelt down so that I could peek under her well-kept bed. Almost immediately, I spotted a diary with a pretty cover and reached out to pull it from under the bed. Is she gonna kick me? Is this what you were looking for? I gently dusted it off before handing it up to the girl. I mean, we've been around a lot of different people. As long as we don't, like, keep in contact, it should be fine, right? Right? She responded to my efforts with a smile so bright and adorable. She's so cute. She looked like a lovely fairy that had come straight out of a storybook. She looks like, Lucas. Nope, just visiting friends. Oh, I'm actually here visiting someone. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Her shoulders slumped slightly.
人が健康なのに落ち込んだらとっても失礼よね。
How are you the only girl in the entire facility? No, it's totally fine. Couldn't stop smiling at the sight of the girl's changing expression shift from one to the other so quickly.
私、ナディア。
Hi, Nadia.
見ての通り、ここに入院している患者よ。あなたのお名前は？
My name is Saris.
セレス。セレスね。とっても綺麗で素敵な名前。
Oh, thank you.
私、あなたの顔も名前もちゃんと覚えたわ。もしまたこの病院に寄ることがあったら、
Okay.
声をかけてくれると嬉しい。
I mean, sure. I guess. She was probably around 12 or 13. Her youthful, lovable nature seemed to suit her age best. Now that I've had a closer look, she looks like someone. She looks like Lucas! Just then I could hear Mathis and the others calling my name in the distance. Before I could figure out the answer, I nodded and excused myself before hurriedly taking my leave. She's gotta be Lucas's sister or something. Gotta be.
明日の朝迎えに行くから、俺たちクルーンの店の中で今後の方針を話し合おう。
He told me so only after he and Adolf checked to make sure no one could overhear. Matheson took me back home to the orphanage while making sure that we weren't being followed. I was relieved to find that there was no major damage in the facility apart from where the explosion occurred. Miles, that little brat. Sorry. I would feel uncomfortable living there because he tried to poison me. I was sitting across from Mother at the table as some of the other children watched us from afar. It appeared that I had just missed Hugo, who left to return to Korune after reporting on what happened to Mother.
セレス？私に一番先に言うべきことは？
Sorry, I just can't get the names right. As steam rose up from my cup of tea, I responded honestly to Mother's calm question. Sorry for worrying you. And I'm sorry for coming home late.
よろしい。
And being gone for a couple days.
少し見ないうちに明るい顔をするようになったわ
Oh, it
ね。
was only a day, okay.
何かいいことがあった？
I made some friends. I wouldn't say good, I just had a chance to think about things. I realized that hating myself doesn't do much apart from worsening the mood.
そう。あなたのそんな穏やかな顔を見るのは本当に久しぶりだわ。いい出会いに恵まれたようね。
We're like re-met some nice people. Yes, I got to meet some new... No, I got to make some friends. Looking at my reflection in the cup of tea, I didn't see much of a change, but I guess I wasn't so gloomy now. I've been looking down on myself for so long that I hadn't noticed. Outside the orphanage, there are all sorts of people and things I didn't know about. I had been convinced that the only ones who would really care for me were Mother and Adolf. My shame had kept me away from others and stuck in a cycle of self-loathing. Only after talking to Eve and others did I realize how wrong I was. Of all things, the turning point for me was the recent tragedy, and she thought Lucas secretly hated her.
あなたの心に前向きな変化が訪れたのなら私としても嬉しいわ。セレス、そろそろ危険な事件には関わらず施設に戻ってきたらどう？
I knew that Mother would say something like that as soon as I returned. She was saying it because she cared about me. Words weren't enough to show my appreciation for her love despite all the trouble I caused. But that would return me back to my usual ways. I knew I wasn't confident enough to handle everything that might happen. Even so, I couldn't bring myself to shut myself up again and forget about Mathis' grieving and the deadly encounter we shared. I just can't go along with this. I already promised Eve that I would work on the investigation tomorrow. He told me of the plans and smiled as he walked away. He was going to be waiting at Korune for me. Korune. At the very least, I couldn't break that promise. Just a little. Just a little while longer, I want to repay Eve for what he's done. So please, can you let me go a bit longer? My plea rang through the quiet room. She's like, I knew this was gonna happen. As a mother expected to hear that from me, she let out a huge, unobvious sigh.
あなたがね、私の顔色を伺って
I love her overly dramatic self.
許可をくれませんかなんて言ったら、私は断固反対するつもりだったわ。なのに、
Aww, I love her. She's so...
今まで一度も甘えるような素振りがなかったあなたから、そんなわがままを聞いてしまったら、
Yay!
母として認めるほかないじゃないの。
Oh. Then...
特別に許可します。本当に今回だけよ。
I love her.
危険な真似はしないこと。有事の際はアドルフたちから決して離れないこと。それが条件。わずかな怪我でもして帰ってきたら。
Well, I'm probably gonna get scratched up, let's be real. Yes?
あなたを守れなかった罰として、アドルフやイブさんへ長いお説教ね。
I love her. Why would you involve them? I'm the one being selfish.
彼らもあなたを同行させる以上、
I love
それ
her.
相応の覚悟と責任は負っているということよ。それと、こっちにもちょっとだけ事情があって。
Which is? Mother moved her face next to my ear.
あの爆発以降、ミロが塞ぎ込んで部屋から出てこないの。
Milo, Milo, whatever. Because the little brat blew the freaking place up.
あの薬品のことについても、アドルフからの伝言通り
And he tried to poison me.
思ってるんだけど、どうしてもまだ会話に応じてくれなくて。だからもう少しだけ。
Oh, gladly. I
そ
don't
っ
want
と
to be
して
near
おい
that
てあげ
kid.
てくれる？
Don't want to be near him. That's fine by me. Yes, I understand. I don't want to be near him anyway. Night arrived. All right. All right. We've been playing a while. The plot thickens. Anyway, if you guys have any other routes or any game recommendations, let me know in the comments below. And I will see you next time.